Is your girl faking her mixed voice with you? How can you tell for sure? What are the signs of, oh yeah, babe, that was such a good high note. Totally sounded chesty, I promise. Yeah, definitely didn't sound like falsetto. Then she goes to secretly listen to a baritone. Oh yeah, such good low notes. Oh my god. Man, I hate my man, I hate when my boyfriend sings to me. Fuck Led Zeppelin songs. I can't take it anymore. Sign number one is you feel a sense of peace about it. Like you can never miss any note ever again. So maybe in the past it used to be like a choice you had to make all the time. Like all the mixed voice deniers, but in a different sense from the Reddit denial about mixed voice. Actually, I'm the denier, I guess, but you know what I mean. So these people will be like so attached to M1 and they'll do all the weirdest configurations for their chest voice to sort of get all the good properties of a good mixed voice in a sense, like the effortlessness, but without having to do all the work of actually building that new voice from scratch. The new voice that is a true mixed voice. Which is why then when you do all the work, that's why you can't lose it anymore. Because you never found it. So there's people who don't take singing so seriously, which is fine, and they'll think they'll magically get it, you know, as this comment says, is one of the biggest disappointments in a sense. That's why, I think this is why people get mad about this, and what I'm saying is controversial, because the ego wants to be like, no, like totally, no, it does exist, like I totally found it, guys, like come on, it's like it clicked, and you know, it's like, yeah, you don't want to put in the work, like that's fine. I could have been the same, I guess. Like, we all just want to sing, right? And that's fine. But I guess, sadly, it doesn't work that way. With the baritone range, you can be like that. It's like, fuck, I just like, as long as I'm on pitch, I can get away with doing like all the stupidest shit, right? Like straining, pushing, just having no technique whatsoever. Having no air. You can have no air, which was the biggest thing that was preventing all my growth, other than not being able to switch because no one advised me to switch laryngeal mechanisms. But still, you'll get away with it, you know? You'll be able to sing Elvis songs, Beatles songs, shit like that, and it will sound good. So then you're like, why can't I do this for all the other songs? And sadly, you'll see if you like a similar genre to the one that I like, they are all higher. So suddenly you find yourself like being really good with zero need of training for so many songs. Like you didn't even have to do anything, right? Like I took singing lessons, but in a sense they didn't teach me anything. I could already sing the songs. Like from my first 5 years of singing experience and journey, I could sing the same songs. By the end of those 5 years, the same songs, you know? Maybe I got a little more refined, but I didn't expand my range or anything. So you can get away because I had good pitch. That was like my only foundation, was that I never had pitch issues. So I could sing all those notes, right? Like you just figure it out. But then all the other songs, they fuck you in the ass. And obviously, after such pleasant traveling in all the previous part of the journey, you don't want to suddenly have to do all these things to keep going. You're like, no, like, fuck, like, why can't I just get like 1 or 2 extra notes? Fuck it. That's it. It's like, yeah, it doesn't work like that. Like, obviously, like you got the first half, right? You're done. It was awesome. And now the second half is going to have like the inverted logic almost. Like it's just like, but anyway, trying to find my way back to the main point. Sign number 1 is you feel a sense of peace that you can't lose it. So because you found the real thing, you don't lose it. It's like it is within you, you know? It's not like external to you. Like only if you do the exact fucking an exercise like the one of the specific vocal coach, then you get your mixed voice. Like you unlock it with that exercise and then you go to sleep and you lose it. No, that's like I'm not implying the existence of a real and a fake mixed voice, but whatever. I'm just rolling with it. That would be the fake one, of course. Sign number 2 is it makes chest voice begin to look ridiculous. And sure, in my case, there are many notes that I couldn't even do in chest voice, even if I wanted, right? But then there's some that I could by straining or yelling or belting, right? But then it's like, why? Why could I do that? Because like, you know how fucking precise muscle memory is, in a sense? I don't know if precise is the best word, like maybe sensitive. Mine is very sensitive. So like, let's just talk about it like real beings with souls and not Reddit users. Seriously, you are practicing a song, right? And you're practicing this song every fucking day, right? You want to be thinking about like doing it differently, like all the time. Like you're going to be changing it up. Like the people who debate me, sometimes they say, no, Mark Martel, for example, it's just an example. Don't get caught up on the fucking example, okay? He, a professional singer, he sometimes does it in M2 and sometimes he does it in M1. I mean, I'm not going to invalidate your fucking argument because I can't, right? I cannot look inside his larynx. But let's just think from objective experience as singers. Do you want to be doing that? That sounds so schizophrenic. Like, say you rehearse a song, you want to be entirely changing the foundation of how you do a note all the time, depending on the performance. That's fucking crazy, dude. I could keep the laryngeal mechanisms the same, and then maybe in the spur of the moment, you can add a little more fucking distortion. Even that's difficult sometimes, changing details up. Like, I mean, that's difficult for me at least. If it's in my muscle memory, it's in my fucking muscle memory. I don't know what these Reddit users are thinking is going on. But when I go to sing in the street, I take my guitar. I need to know. I know, like, it has to be an autopilot already because you practice it so much. Obviously, I won't be changing the laryngeal mechanisms. You mess with the entire thing up. So even if I say to this person, right, like, yeah, sure, like, okay, let's say Mark Martel is such a good singer, like he's doing both, like whatever he can choose, right, because he's so skilled. That's cool. But then even if I could, which I'm not saying I can't, I couldn't, I think. It would be too confusing. So sign number 2, in a sense, what I'm trying to say is you get to this point where you no longer see an advantage in the M1 laryngeal mechanism because like the M2 laryngeal mechanism, you perfected it so much that it sounds like the M1 laryngeal mechanism. There is actually no point in doing it in M1. It could be like, for me, the way that I see it now, it could be like the weirdest stylistic choice for recording a note. Now, I don't have the same range, of course, so I'm not saying I can do all the notes in M1, but for some, like in A4, I could only do it in M1 if it's like, I don't know, man, it's just, I can't even think of a good example anymore. Just don't give a shit, because I don't want to be thinking like I'll have to do it different at some point, I sing live. It needs to, come out the same all the time. At least the very fucking foundation, like the bone structure, which is the laryngeal mechanism, can't be messing with that, So that was sign 2, whatever the fuck that was. Sign 3 is you can finally enjoy singing, because if you needed to go into this scientific framework for singing, right, it's only because you are suffering, right? Like the people that can get away, they're chewing bubblegum and just being like this. And like, I found my mixed voice with Sherry Porter in 2 milliseconds and I just figured it out. It clicked and like, it's over for me, guys. Like I'm done. Like I've transcended this realm, what I'm saying? Like I'm such a natural singer now after only 2 days. Like, okay, like, I mean, dude, be happy, that's cool. That doesn't mean mixed voice is real. You shouldn't be talking down to people because whatever, but we can't judge them, they're unconscious, and that's cool. But if you needed to find the framework because you couldn't just get it, like you literally tried for years, then you find the framework, you do all the work, then you drop the framework, which is like the main purpose of my academy. Like each course is literally like one step of the journey. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy because I didn't plan it. That's the craziest part, Like I started making videos, and some videos literally started shaping themselves in a sense as courses. It's weird because I would have thought, like if I want to record a course, I need to like do the layout of the course, come up with all the names for the titles of the videos, and then do the videos. No, for me it was different. It was like most, like around 30 or 40% of the entire academy, it was just like spur of the moment. I want to record a video on this, and then it was like, damn, I can one of this in the courses, and they literally fit way better than anything else that I could come up with now. And in fact, the craziest part about this was that the Mastering the Illusion course, which is the fourth step of the program or journey in my academy, I actually recorded third. And then I got the idea for the M2 Academy method, and now that's the third step. But I actually recorded that fourth, you know? Like, it doesn't make sense chronologically. Like, I didn't plan it, but it works perfectly. So as I was saying, you can drop the framework, you can drop the knowledge about laryngeal mechanisms when you have true mixed voice and just enjoy singing. It took so much muscle memory rewiring though, probably. But now it's like, why the fuck, would you even go back? I'm just gonna add one more because I'm feeling funny. Sign 4 is now low songs sing really weird. This is just my personal experience, of course. All of this, just like 4 signs or whatever. It's just my experience, of course. But yeah, low songs feel really different now because I used to think I needed to carry weight to all the notes in M1, which was single-handedly preventing all my growth because I had no air. It was all muscle, right? It's like, let's keep this going until the C5. Obviously, this wasn't gonna happen. Imagine no air, all muscle. That's the main problem being tackled and resolved by the M1, M2 laryngeal mechanism, whatever, right? That now having all air and no muscle, I'm kidding, but seriously. Then you go back to M1 and it's like, like this is so airy, like I used to sound like Elvis and now I sound like the Beatles or it's fucking weird. That's what it confuses me when they say I'm not a baritone, which I respect because I get no ego points from believing I'm a baritone or a tenor. I literally don't give a fuck. So, but that's funny because I'm not attached to those labels anymore. I can see that like all my teachers thought I was a baritone because I sounded really rich and dark and powerful. But that, in a sense, I'm seeing now was a choice. Like, I can do it, and maybe that's what makes me a baritone. Maybe some other fucking tenor couldn't. I don't know. I don't care. But it's definitely confusing because now that my voice is so full of air and effortlessness and shit, it's like if I want to get those rich, dark, low timbres, I really need to push all my muscle again. Anyway, really, really confusing stuff. So I love you. Go to m2.academy if you want me to walk with you across all the steps of the journey of stopping to be a fucking baritone. I'll just love you, okay?